Can we just take a minute and pause and just reflect on the universe right now? A few years ago, astrologically, the whole world became in alignment and the planets were systems that no longer functioned and didn't serve the highest good of the collective were going to start breaking down. And it feels like in the last 24 to 48 hours, that's really heightened again. And I'm seeing it all across the boards, politically, religiously, and in the LGBTQ community, where there's just so many people that aren't feeling seen, honored, or heard in our systems, that it's getting broken down. And particularly thinking about the most recent shooting, right? Like it breaks my heart. And all I see is obviously like the children and the adults who were impacted, and just looking at their faces and just feeling their energy. You can tell that they're gonna leave a hole in a lot of people's hearts. And also looking at the victim, I guess I do feel like that person was the victim, the person who went in there and shot. What I see when I look at that energetically was that this person who is trans is going to school in a church environment, in a religious environment that doesn't accept him, doesn't make the religion bad, but it doesn't support how this person feels about themselves. And then it brought to highlight the leader, and the leader showing a family photo of them holding guns. And it brings into highlight that what's happening in my perspective is that people are really wounded. They're deeply, deeply hurting, and they're not feeling heard or seen or respected or supported. And then they outlash in ways that aren't loving to the world. And it's because on some level, they don't feel loved. And how can we support people feeling loved and seen and heard, so they don't feel like they're put in this box, that the only way out is this horrible violence? And just feeling even more into that space, you know, like, who are we showing up for other people, strangers and people in our community? Are we holding an open space for them to lean in and to share and to be the expression that they need to be? And who are we as people? Like, we are leaders in our own life. So when we are leading in our own life, are we leading in a way that, well, you get to choose how you want to lead, right? For me, like, when I think about leading, like, I want to lead in a way that is inclusive, that listens, that leans in, that is heart-centered and connected and communicative, and is willing to lean into the hard moments so I can better understand someone, so they can better understand me. And what happens in those moments is you create a deepening and opening into love. And imagine if we lived a whole life where, instead of avoiding or feeling angry and outlashing, that we leaned in and we listened and we cared and we held an open heart for other people to share their experience, so we can understand. Because when we live a life where we are opening those doors versus closing, it leads a life that allows more love, more connection, and more equality. It shouldn't matter who you want to love. It shouldn't matter what color you are. It shouldn't matter what religion you believe in. What should matter is your character, who you are as a human, how you show up in the world, and how we get to let love in and how we get to show love. So let me know how you're feeling, who it is that you have in your corner. Do they support you, honor you, love you? Who do you have in your corner that you get to support, honor, and love? I'd love to hear. Hope you're all having a really good day, and may all of our hearts be held in a tender, honorable, loving way. I hope.